The Johnston family has captivated audiences for years through their hit reality show Little Johnstons, which follows the lives of Trent and Amber Johnston and their 5 children. As one of the largest known families living with achondroplasia, they've built a fan base that admires their resilience, humor, and commitment to living life to the fullest. Among the Johnston siblings, Anna Johnston has stood out as an independent and strong-willed woman, determined to carve her own path. Fans have watched her grow from a teenager navigating high school to a successful young adult managing her own business. However, her love life has always been a topic of curiosity. Now, with the recent buzz about Anna's new boyfriend, fans are eager to know more about the man who has captured her heart and what this means for her future. Anna Johnston, one of the 3 adopted children of the Johnston family, was born in Russia and adopted by Trent and Amber at a young age. She quickly became a beloved member of the family, growing up alongside her siblings, Jonah, Elizabeth, Alex, and Emma. Despite the challenges that came with being raised in a large family with achondroplasia, Anna developed a strong sense of independence early on. As she transitioned into adulthood, Anna made significant strides toward independence. She moved out of her parents' house, started her own business selling handmade jewelry, and maintained a steady job. Her resilience and ambition have made her a fan favorite, with many admiring her determination to succeed on her own terms. While her career and independence flourished, Anna's love life remained relatively private. Unlike her sister Elizabeth, who has been in a long-term relationship, Anna had not publicly introduced a significant other until now. Fans of Little Johnstons were thrilled when rumors began circulating that Anna was dating someone new. The news came as a surprise, as Anna had previously mentioned her struggles with dating. She had expressed that finding someone who understood her lifestyle and embraced her independence was challenging. So, who is the mystery man that has won Anna's heart? While Anna has kept details about him relatively private, sources close to the family suggest that he is someone who truly appreciates her for who she is. Though Anna has yet to share extensive details about her new boyfriend, fans have speculated about his identity based on her social media activity. Some believe he is someone she met through mutual friends or an online dating platform. Given Anna's busy schedule and desire for independence, it makes sense that she would seek someone who shares her values and respects her ambitions. The man in question appears to be supportive of Anna's career, encouraging her entrepreneurial endeavors and standing by her side as she continues to navigate life outside of her parents' home. While it remains unclear whether he has achondroplasia or not, what matters most to Anna is finding someone who treats her with kindness and respect. Trent and Amber Johnston have always been protective of their children, especially when it comes to relationships. They have been vocal about their expectations and values, emphasizing the importance of trust, respect, and stability in any romantic partnership. Given Anna's independent nature, she has often clashed with her parents over certain aspects of her life. However, when it comes to her new relationship, it seems that Trent and Amber are taking a supportive yet cautious approach. While they want Anna to be happy, they also want to ensure that she is with someone who genuinely cares for her and has her best interests at heart. Anna's siblings, Jonah, Elizabeth, Alex, and Emma, have always been a source of support and fun in her life. With each of them navigating their own life challenges, they understand how important it is to find someone who truly complements their personality and ambitions. Elizabeth, who has been in a long-term relationship herself, has likely offered Anna some advice on maintaining a healthy relationship. Jonah, who has faced his own ups and downs in love, might also be protective of his sister, ensuring that she is with someone who treats her well. Alex and Emma, the youngest of the Johnston siblings, are probably excited to see Anna happy and embarking on this new chapter in her life. Anna's relationship marks an exciting new chapter in her life. For years, she has focused on building her career, establishing her independence, and proving to herself and others that she can stand on her own. Now, she has found someone who adds joy to her life without compromising her individuality. Fans are eager to see whether this relationship will lead to something more serious. Will Anna's boyfriend make an appearance on 7 Little Johnstons? Will they take the next steps in their relationship, such as moving in together or discussing marriage? While only time will tell, one thing is certain. Anna is entering this relationship with a strong sense of self, ensuring that she remains true to her goals and values. Being part of a reality TV family means that every major life event is scrutinized by the public. Anna, like her siblings, has had to balance her personal life with the expectations of fans who have followed her journey for years. Dating in the public eye comes with its own set of challenges. While many fans are supportive, there will always be critics who have opinions about Anna's choices. However, given her strong-willed nature, Anna is unlikely to let outside opinions dictate her happiness. She has proven time and again that she is capable of making decisions that are best for her, regardless of public perception. Fans of 7 Little Johnstons have expressed their excitement and support for Anna's new relationship. Many have taken to social media to congratulate her, praising her for finding someone who appreciates her for who she is. Some fans have even shared their own experiences of finding love later in life, encouraging Anna to enjoy the journey and take things at her own pace. Of course, some fans are eager for more details, hoping that Anna will share more about her boyfriend in future episodes of the show or on her social media platforms. Others have expressed curiosity about how Trent and Amber will react in the long run and whether they will fully embrace Anna's new relationship. Anna Johnston has always been a determined and independent individual, paving her own way despite the challenges she has faced. With the arrival of her new boyfriend, she is entering an exciting new phase of her life, one that includes love, companionship, and the possibility of a long-term future with someone special. While Anna has always valued her independence, she now has the opportunity to share her life with someone who supports and respects her. Whether this relationship leads to marriage or simply serves as a meaningful chapter in her story, it's clear that Anna is embracing this journey with confidence and joy. As fans continue to follow the Johnston family's journey, one thing is certain. Anna Johnston is proving that love and independence can go hand in hand. And as she navigates this new romance, she remains an inspiration to those who admire her strength, resilience, and unwavering commitment to living life on her own terms. Liz Johnston had always considered herself a strong woman, one who could handle the challenges life threw at her. She had faced many ups and downs in her 33 years, but none as heart-wrenching as the days that would come after the birth of her baby, Emma. The early days of motherhood had been full of joy. Liz and her husband, Michael, had eagerly awaited the arrival of their first child, imagining all the happiness Emma would bring into their lives. Their small, cozy home in the suburbs was ready for the baby, nursery painted, crib assembled, and the softest baby clothes folded neatly in drawers. They had dreamed of sleepless nights spent rocking their newborn, watching her grow and develop into a little girl with a world of possibilities in front of her. But when Emma was born, everything changed. At first, there were no signs of anything wrong. Emma was a healthy weight, a little fussy, but nothing unusual. Liz and Michael were overjoyed. They marveled at the tiny fingers and toes, the way Emma's blue eyes blinked at the light, and the way her tiny mouth opened wide when she cried. But soon after, something wasn't right. It started with the feeding. Emma had difficulty nursing, a sign that worried Liz. She'd heard other mothers talk about the challenges of breastfeeding, but this felt different. Her baby seemed to struggle more than usual, as if something was preventing her from feeding properly. Liz initially brushed it off, thinking it was just a phase, something every new mom had to go through. But then, Emma started to lose weight. By the time Emma was 2 weeks old, Liz knew something was terribly wrong. The baby's skin had taken on a pale, almost translucent quality, and her cries had become weaker. Liz couldn't put her finger on what it was, but she knew that Emma wasn't thriving. She sought help from their pediatrician, who listened attentively, ran a few tests, and then sat them down with a look that made Liz's heart sink. "Liz, Michael," Dr. Carter began, his voice calm but serious. "I'm afraid there's something more serious going on here. Emma has a rare condition that affects her ability to absorb nutrients properly. We'll need to run some further tests to understand more, but for now, we need to make sure she's getting the support she needs." The diagnosis hit Liz like a ton of bricks. A rare condition. Her baby was sick, and they didn't even know how to treat it yet. The joy that had surrounded her first days of motherhood vanished, replaced by a swirling mixture of fear, helplessness, and uncertainty. That night, Liz couldn't sleep. She stayed up, watching Emma in her crib, listening to the faint wheeze of her breathing and praying for some miracle. She thought about all the mothers who had faced similar challenges, but somehow it felt different when it was your own child. Every cry, every moment of discomfort felt like a personal failing, a loss she couldn't fix. Michael, ever the steady presence in her life, tried his best to comfort her. "We'll get through this, Liz. We'll figure it out together, whatever it takes." But Liz wasn't sure. How could she? Every day felt like a battle, and Emma's condition seemed to grow more complex with each passing week. The baby was admitted to the hospital several times for testing, and Liz found herself learning more about medical procedures than she ever thought possible. Feeding tubes, IVs, and specialist appointments became a part of her new routine. There was no escape from the constant worry that something worse could happen at any moment. Through it all, Liz never stopped fighting for Emma. She researched everything she could about the condition, read articles, joined support groups, and became an advocate for her baby's care. She and Michael found strength in each other, though it wasn't always easy. There were moments when the stress took its toll, when they would argue or fall into silence, unable to find the right words, but they always came back to one thing: their love for Emma. Slowly, with the help of doctors, specialists, and a constant stream of hope from both her family and her friends, Emma began to show signs of improvement. It wasn't a miracle, but it was progress. Liz had learned to celebrate the small victories. The first time Emma latched onto a bottle without difficulty, the day her weight started to creep up, the time she smiled for the first time in weeks. The journey was far from over, but Liz had learned something about herself and about motherhood that she hadn't known before. She wasn't just strong, she was resilient. She had found a depth of love and determination she didn't know existed. As the months passed, Emma's health improved, and the Johnston family found a new sense of normalcy. Liz continued to cherish every moment with her daughter, realizing how precious each one was. Her story was far from unique. Many mothers faced the unthinkable, the difficult, and the heartbreaking. But Liz knew that her strength, the love that she and Michael had for their daughter, would always be enough to carry them through. Emma Johnston sat by the window in her childhood bedroom, gazing out at the quiet suburban street that had been the backdrop of so many memories. The late afternoon sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting long shadows across the room. It had been a long time since she truly reflected on her family, on the people who had shaped her life, for better or for worse. But today, with nothing pressing to distract her, her thoughts turned inward, and she found herself thinking about her parents, her siblings, and the complex web of relationships that had defined her upbringing. Growing up in the Johnston family had always felt like a unique experience. It wasn't like the families portrayed on TV or in books. There were no overtly dramatic moments or fairy tale endings. Instead, the Johnstons were a family marked by quiet love, subtle conflicts, and a deep-rooted sense of loyalty. Emma had never known exactly how to categorize them, but as she sat there now, the pieces of her memories began to fall into place, each one illuminating a different facet of the family dynamics. Her parents, Karen and David Johnston, were the steady core around which the family revolved. Karen, her mother, was a woman of routine, meticulous, and ever-present, always ensuring that the house ran smoothly. Emma had often found her mother's predictability comforting, even if it sometimes felt stifling. Karen's love was expressed in the small, everyday actions, preparing meals with care, folding laundry with precision, and making sure that every birthday and holiday was celebrated with just the right amount of festivity. She wasn't one for grand speeches or overt displays of affection, but Emma knew her mother loved her in a way that was solid and unwavering, like the foundation of the home they lived in. David, on the other hand, was a man of few words, a man whose love was more like a quiet undercurrent, always present but often unnoticed. He worked long hours as a lawyer, spending much of his time immersed in the demands of his profession. Emma often felt that her father's love for her was shown through his actions rather than his words. When she had been younger, she longed for his attention, for the sort of connection that her friends seemed to have with their fathers. But as she grew older, Emma began to understand the subtle ways in which her father showed his love, like the way he'd fix things around the house without her asking, or how he'd quietly sit with her at the kitchen table when she was studying, offering his quiet presence without any expectation of conversation. As Emma thought about her parents, a deep sense of gratitude washed over her. She realized that despite the lack of overt emotional expression, her parents had given her a stable and loving environment to grow up in. Their marriage, though not without its own set of challenges, had been a model of commitment. She had always admired how they worked together, even when things were tough. They never shouted at each other or aired their grievances in public. Their disagreements were private, worked through behind closed doors, and Emma now saw the wisdom in that. It wasn't always glamorous, but it was real, and it had created a safe space for her to grow and learn. Then there were her siblings, her older brother, Lucas, and her younger sister, Sophie. Lucas had always been the golden child in many ways. He was smart, driven, and effortlessly charming. Growing up, Emma had often felt a sense of competition with him, even though he was several years older. He seemed to excel at everything he did, from academics to sports to social situations. Emma, in contrast, had always felt like she was the quiet one, the introspective one, the one who didn't quite fit into the mold that Lucas had so effortlessly created. She often envied his confidence, the way he seemed to glide through life, never appearing to stumble. But as she reflected on their relationship now, she understood that her feelings of competition had been more about her own insecurities than anything Lucas had done. He had never tried to outshine her or make her feel inferior. He had always been supportive, even when his success had unintentionally cast a shadow over her. Emma smiled as she remembered the times when Lucas had helped her with school projects, or when they had spent hours talking about their dreams for the future. She realized that, despite their differences, Lucas had always been there for her in his own way, and that their bond was stronger than any feelings of rivalry. And then there was Sophie, her baby sister, who had a way of bringing light into even the darkest of days. Sophie was everything Emma wasn't: outgoing, social, and effortlessly optimistic. As a child, Sophie had always been the center of attention, the one who could light up a room with her laughter. Emma often found herself trying to protect Sophie from the harsh realities of the world, feeling a deep sense of responsibility for her younger sister. But as Sophie grew older, Emma saw that her sister didn't need protection so much as she needed someone to guide her, someone to show her the ropes of navigating a world that wasn't always kind. Sophie had always admired Emma, perhaps in a way that Emma hadn't fully understood until now. Sophie had looked up to her for her intelligence, her calm demeanor, and her ability to always know what to do in difficult situations. But Emma hadn't always seen it that way. She had often felt that she was the one who was supposed to look out for Sophie, not the other way around. Yet now, looking back, she realized that Sophie had taught her just as much about life as Emma had taught her. Family was complicated, Emma thought. It wasn't always about the big moments, the grand gestures. It was about the small, everyday things, the shared meals, the late-night conversations, the unspoken understanding that no matter what happened in the outside world, they were always there for each other. The Johnston family had its flaws, like any other family, but there was a deep, unshakable bond between them. It was a bond that had been forged through years of shared experiences, both good and bad, and it was something Emma could rely on, no matter where life took her. As she sat in the quiet of her room, Emma felt a wave of nostalgia for the days when their family was whole, when they were all under the same roof, navigating life together. Those days seemed so far away now, especially with Lucas living across the country, Sophie away at university, and Emma herself carving out a life in a city miles from home. But the distance didn't change the way she felt about them. She still carried them with her, in her heart and in her mind, and she realized, with a deep sense of peace, that they would always be her family, no matter how far apart they were or how much time passed. Thinking of them now, she was reminded of how much she had grown. The person she had become was shaped by them, by her mother's quiet strength, her father's subtle love, Lucas's drive, and Sophie's boundless joy. She could see now that her family had always been there, in ways both big and small, helping her become the woman she was today. Emma stood up and walked over to the dresser, picking up an old photo of the family. It was from a vacation they had taken to the beach when she was in high school. They were all smiling in the picture, arms draped around each other, looking carefree and happy. It was a snapshot in time, a reminder of a simpler moment before life had become more complicated. As she studied the photo, Emma thought about what it meant to be part of a family. It wasn't about perfection, it was about connection, about being there for each other, even when things were messy, even when life didn't go as planned. Her family had shown her that in ways she hadn't fully understood until now. She put the photo back down, taking one last look at her childhood room before heading downstairs. Her parents were in the living room, watching television, and Sophie was calling from the kitchen, asking if anyone wanted tea. Lucas was off doing his own thing, as he usually did, but she knew he was just a phone call away. As she joined her family in the living room, Emma felt a warmth in her chest. For all the distance that time in life had created between them, they were still her family. And that, she realized, was more than enough.